now that you're able to watch a film, like you're not, you know, not in it, and you can kind of observe it from a almost a viewer standpoint, then can you, I don't know, can you take different messages off of it, like than when you first were working within, you know, the roles and all that kind of stuff?
I saw it for the first time assembled, sort of finished last night, and I really got the sense that that it was so badly directed. That what was the National Board of Review?
Right?
Thank you.
We can retake that. Right?
Yeah, that a person who was 18 would view this film an entirely different way to someone who had just got divorced, or from someone who had just given birth to a child, or someone who was going through the death of a parent. And I think that that's what I'm so proud of the film. It's sometimes you feel like a film is really powerful, but it's a moment in time. It's a fashionable moment, whereas this is a film that is built to last. And I think that you could view again in 10 years' time and, for want of a better word, take a different message away from it, depending on what you're going through at the time. I think it's deeply emotionally connected to that great tidal stream that is, you know, humanity. And I think that sounds really wanky, but it's true.
I agree completely.
Thank you.
What?
Finally.
Sometimes when I talk to people who have really long careers in doing a certain thing, I ask them if
Old people.
not old, but, you know, very established, you know.
That's a nice way of putting it.
But you know, certain parts in their lives, maybe they weren't able to play certain things. And I'm just wondering, did it have to take for you to come to this point in your life to play this role, or could you have done this back in your Thelma and Louise days? I mean, like, is this one of those things where?
No, I don't think I would have. I think I need more experience. Certainly, it would have been a different film. Yeah.
And also
it's called Meet Joe Black. I mean that. Did I? You did say that out loud. Oops. No, I don't mean that. No. There's great stuff in there. Now I got to go back. Now I gotta qualify. No, I just wasn't. Anyway, so.
But no, but sometimes, I mean, I've played, you know, I've played a mother before being a mother, and as an actor, you don't need to, you know, you don't have to be a murderer to play a murderer. But this is a film, I think, that I don't think I could have had the depth of understanding if I hadn't been a parent or lost a parent, because it somehow brought all of that stuff up.
I'm sure there are nuances in performance that maybe it just, because of age, it kind of like kicks in naturally as opposed to maybe faking. I don't know, like, I don't know if that, as a process.
All acting, by the way, is faking it, just in case.
Really?
And I am 17. There's the older stuff for me that was more difficult to play.
Then for you, David, is it the same thing? Like, would you have been able to make this film a decade ago, or do you feel like
I like to think so, but I don't know. I mean, I think things happen when they're supposed to happen, and
That's a line in the film.
It is,
Happens
and
when
I'm
it's
trying
supposed
to.
to.
You're selling it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to go with that because Eric Roth wrote it, and I'll stand behind that.
To shoot in New Orleans, which is another character in this movie, was it really? What was the experience like? And you know, Jason was saying that he still listens to New Orleans radio, and so it was really profound for him. So I'm just wondering if it was kind of a similar experience for you.
It somehow made the film plausible, just because there's such mystery and mystique to New Orleans. But you can certainly feel the pulse of the city, the patina of the city. I think once that switch was made, it was a great benefit to us as well.
Yeah, yeah, it was one of those things where when you got there, I mean, we originally, when talking about the soundtrack, you know, one of the things that was, you know, even coming after Katrina, when it was, I mean, we were there probably 4 months, 5 months after Katrina. There was nothing. There were no dogs. There were no birds. There were no cats. Like, you didn't hear. There were no leaf blowers. It was silent. But one of the things that you were acutely aware of wherever you went in the city was music. And one of the things that, you know, I had originally thought this movie was going to be very, very sparse in terms of music. And we just realized that music was going to be such a important, I mean, just coming out of a window over here, you know, past a club, or hear somebody tinkling on a piano in the next room, you know, it's like you got to have, I mean, New Orleans is a musical city. So that was one of the things that, you know, was informed by the place.
Is there also something kind of different about America in the South? Is there some kind of spirit that kind of goes through that area that maybe the rest of America may? Yeah, I don't know if working there, did you talk to people, and do they have a kind of a different approach?
There were tons of people, you know, a lot of locals in the movie, and the music of, you know, just the way that they speak. Yeah, it's a real acceptance. I mean, New Orleans is a very, I mean, there's warmth in the South, but there's New Orleans, and then there's the rest of it. I mean, it's a very, they not only embraced us because we were there after Katrina, but you got the feeling when we went down there initially that this was something that they wanted to do, and I mean, people gave us their homes. We shut down streets for months. I mean, we took over, we did pretty much what we wanted to do, and we go make, propose things, and they just said, great, do it. That's fine.
The house we shot in was incredible. And a friend of mine who was seeing the film last night said you can really tell that it's been shot in a house with history, that it's not in a studio. And I think it really infused the performances, knowing that generations of people had lived and died and given birth in that house. And it's the houses, they really do hold that stuff in New Orleans. You feel that people have got lost and been found there. And for me, one of the most moving moments in the film is when Benjamin, after he and Daisy part, he goes on this kind of journey, and you just see him sitting as a parking attendant reading a book, and he's lost. And the whole thing about we're spending all of this time, spanning this one man's experience throughout life, but he's just one of billions of people on the planet who are going through their own personal tragic comic experience.
I'm always amazed. This film makes me think about, you run into 10, 20, 30 people a day, and I'm always surprised when I come to learn their experience, their backstory. People carry, so much, so incredible experiences and incredible loss, and still somehow maintain this verve of spirit, and I think this film reminds me of that. It makes me look into people, or look at people differently for a little while, and then I just think about myself.